the wonderful Sam Giles. Hello, darling. Now, Sam, you are going to tell us about spells, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to tell you a bit about spells, a bit about the full moon that we've just had.
Yeah.
And what that means. Yeah.
So you were kind enough to send me some sage, because you have a website where you can buy spells, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes. And the full moon that we've just had is on February. It was the Sunday, the 5th of February. That was known as the snow moon. And that is very much a moon which is all about renewal and rebirth and kind of all those sorts of things, and early beginning of the year, I guess, as well. So it's a great time to do any cleansing that you want to do on your house or workspace, which just kind of recharges, renews the energy, gets rid of all the old, dead, stagnant energy, and you use sage to smudge round to do that.
Yes, and the thing is, on the spell as well, you say you've got to open all the drawers and open all the windows. And
I don't open my drawers, darling. I'm sorry.
No, I can't.
Different to what I had, darling.
Yes,
No.
Very good, Dee.
If only. Oh dear.
No, that's right. Well, we have to be very particular about how we open our drawers and who sees them.
Thank you.
But yes, for this spell, you do it is quite helpful. And the house looks terrible because you've got everything open, cupboards, everything, and windows, and then you sort of finish off by letting all the bad, negative energy out the back door, and then opening the front door and letting in the fresh energy.
Wow.
Wow.
The next full moon, I shall start going around the house and doing all that. How long does it take, for God's? I suppose it's how big your house is.
Yeah, it does take quite a while. I mean, I did ours quite quickly on the last full moon because we'd had guests here for some time. So I just thought, right, they've gone now. Let's do the room, do the house. So I sort of zipped around quite quickly, and it only took me about an hour, but it did feel really different.
Wow. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. So, girls, do you have a particular spell that you would like to ask Sam about?
Jenny, I know you said that you would like to ask about a spell.
Well, I'd like a spell. I just want you to put a spell on me.
Well, unfortunately, I can't do any spell for anybody else. I can't cast a spell for any particular person. The power is when you do it yourself. So I can give you the kit and say, right, this is what you have to do, but you have to actually cast the spell, weave the spell yourself, because that's what gives it the power, your energy and your intention.
And is it similar to manifesting?
Yes, it is really. And another way, if people kind of feel nervous about spells, another way of describing them are just little self-help kits, really.
Yes.
And is it different from manifesting? Is it like exactly the same, or is there a difference between?
I think there's a difference because you're using a lot of kind of old-fashioned ritual, if you like, and ritual that means something to you. So it doesn't have to be set in stone, the ritual you use. Some people like a ritual of lighting candles or making like their own little altar, which you'd lay out, north, south, east, west. Some people like to, like you do in Holy Communion, have a glass of wine and toast, to whatever God you believe in, or maybe you're just toasting the moon or the sun, if you're doing something in summer solstice. So I think the spells are using more ritual. They're using more, I use crystals in a lot of mine as well. So different crystals have different energies, will help with different areas of your life. Different herbs will, so lavender, for example, very calming. The sage in the sage sticks, very cleansing herb, sage is. So that's why we use that to smudge with.
And when you do your own spells, I'm sure it's not called spelling. That wasn't the question though. But when you're doing your own spell work, do you have to have like a hard, solid belief that it's going to work?
Absolutely. So that is the key to it. In the same way, I suppose, that with manifesting, you have to believe and trust. So it's almost you letting go of it once you have cast your spell out there. You're letting it go, knowing 100% that it's going to work. And that's what will bring it to you quicker, that belief.
Yes.
Quite interesting though, isn't it? I mean, with manifestation, and certain books, not all books, you know, that people think, oh, they're going to manifest and then it happens. But really what happens with manifestation, I think, which is not very clear for a lot of people, is that you get clues with manifestation. So as opposed to just, it's like expecting things to happen by themselves is like sitting, you know, at home and getting to Scotland. How are you going to get there? You know, it's okay, I've manifested it, so I'll be there. So it's not the same thing. You've got to go, you've got to get a ticket, you've got to get on a train or a plane, and then you get there. So with manifestation, the next thing that happens are the clues. And if you don't take advantage of the clues, really weird things will happen. Then the manifestation doesn't start. So it's I don't know. Is that the same with spells, do you think?
I don't know, actually. I've never thought of it like that you get clues along the way. You probably do. I mean, I something interesting happened to me the other day. I was going out for a walk, and maybe this is a clue, or maybe this is just something that happens to just kind of cement your faith in what you've done, if you like. But I remember thinking I'd had a coffee and I was coming back. I got my empty coffee cup, and I was thinking, and I thought to myself, right, when I see a bin, I'm going to put this in the bin. You know, I know there's a bin at some point on the way home. As soon as I'd said it, I crossed the road and there was a bin somewhere where I wasn't expecting to see the bin at all. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, that is a lesson. The lesson is you have to have that. You know, I knew I was going to see a bin. So, for example, if you're looking for a new job, you have to know and believe that the new job's going to come. You absolutely know it's going to come. But whether it comes tomorrow or next week or next month, you know, is you know, we're not sure. And it's the same for me. I thought, well, I know I'm going to see a bin probably just before I get home. I saw one immediately, which kind of took me by surprise. And I thought, yes, it is. It's about that faith, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's just, you know, it's these clues that come up.
Yeah.
That come
and
up
also,
all the time.
as you said, crystals and the spells would actually, I suppose, speed up the process as well and support the process. Is that, I mean, for instance, Sam, if you had, you know, an issue with health or money or, you know, a relationship, you can actually be specific, can you, with your website and request the sort of spell for that specific thing?
They're not, I mean, you can tweak spells to make them more specific, but I mean, the spell, I can't say it, the spells I'm spelling, the spells I'm selling, if you like.
You should be an actress.
Should have done my mouth exercises this morning, shouldn't I? But the spells I'm selling are more generalized. So love spell, protection spell, healing. You know, I do a little new moon wish for healing, but obviously if you were looking to specifically heal something, you know, a particular area, emotionally or physically, then it might be, you know, you might be able to speed that up by using a crystal that particularly enhances that area. So the throat, for example, blue sodalite, something like that, because blue is associated with the throat chakra. So if you wanted to unblock that, or, you know, getting a lot of throat problems, that might be a good one to help speed that up.
It's so interesting because the idea of the sort of things that surround the word spell, is casting a spell, is always so doom laden and is seen by culture as something, as I've played many wicked witches in many shows. It's so, I was a fairy godmother and had a different one, so that was quite nice. But I was a fairy godmother virgin, so it was interesting for me. But again, it was that again, it's blighted with, you know, when one says manifesting, one doesn't judge that. As soon as people say spell, it's judged. And what you're saying is that these are things for enhancement, for developing, for creativity, and yet to buy a spell, you know, it's what other people sort of perceive it as. How do you find that? Because again, it has a history of a wicked witch, you know, and that's not the case.
Right.
So
yes, you're absolutely right. Well, I think one of the ways to look at it slightly differently is if you think of the wand, you know, I'll just take a pen, wand, you know, somebody going with their wand, all your wand is an extension of your finger, actually.
Yeah.
And all you're doing when you are casting a spell is you're creating a ball of energy.
Yeah.
Of hope, of, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And you are throwing it into the universe, if you like. So that with the wand or with your finger is what you're doing, as you're sending it out there. So that's all it is. It's a ball of energy which is being thrown. So that's kind of where the wand comes from. So
yeah,
it's an
it's
extension.
what goes with it is that people's assumptions and perspective on spells is that they're there for the opposite of what you're talking about. You know, you're talking about enhancement, as I said, and making things positive and getting things better. But the idea you get a spell and then you cast a spell on somebody, or that's how we're seeing all the stories we've read since kids. It's so hard to break that narrative.
It is, and because obviously the dark stuff is the stuff of fairy tales, and it's more exciting, isn't it, I suppose, in some ways, than people doing good positive things. But you know, the law of Wicca is harm ye none. If you do anything negative or bad, it just comes back on you times 3.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
But it's the culture that is, it's so interesting to hear your experience of it, because it's so much more positive than most people see it or hear it as.
So Sam, how does being back in Emmerdale, how does that work with your writing and your life and your home and everything else that's going on with you? How do you fit it in, as the actress said to the bishop?
Yeah, it's been really busy for us the last few months, not least because I've been busy with storylines, but also we've had Ukrainian refugees staying with us as well. And they've just gone last weekend, so we've had them for 9 months. So it's been busy on every level, really. I don't know, I haven't had much time to do any writing, so I'm having a bit more quieter period now. So I'm really excited about getting on with the book that I'm currently writing, and hopefully getting some good news this year about the next thing that's going to be published, fingers crossed. So
wow, wonderful.
I mean, you do so much, Sam, you really do. You're sort of
do I?
Yes,
Dee always says to me, I said, can you do this? And she always says yes. Sweeping with the arse stuck up my broom. Is that what you say? The broom stuck up
your tail.
Yes.
But not.
And they always say, if you want something done, ask the busy person, because that's
true.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying Emmerdale, Sam?
I am. I'm loving the stuff with Tony Audenshaw that plays Bob. I've never really worked with Tony before, and actually I think the characters go quite well together as a team. You know, there's no romantic thing in there with them. It's just doing the B&B, but he's such a good laugh to work with. I can't tell you the stories because it's too rude, but it was his birthday recently, and we played a bit of a prank on him, and we've had so many laughs. And Susan Cookson, that plays Wendy, it's been really nice to work with some different people.
Yeah,
fabulous.
Sorry,
great. I was going to sorry, I'm obsessed with spells at the moment.
Oh, for God's sakes, here we go again.
This is such my area of interest, Sam, that I'm sorry to ask you to go back to the spells. But can you tell us, like, the most exciting spell that you've ever done that's happened, or that you felt really made a difference to you?
I suppose when I know it sounds really cheesy, but when I did the Cast the Love spell, which was a long time ago, and I just come out of a really horrible relationship, actually, with somebody who was, very difficult, had a lot of problems, and, heading towards the abusive sort of side, really. Anyhow, and I was really kind of, I thought, I don't want to mess around anymore. I want to meet somebody that's actually decent, because I think sometimes, us women occasionally just have a repeat pattern of going for the wrong type of partner, and I think I was in that cycle actually. And so I really put it out there and wrote down quite bizarre things of what I was sort of asking for, really, you know, and I was quite specific of everything I asked for, and then I literally just forgot about it. And it was only about 3 months later that I met the guy that I'm married to now. And I remember finding the bit of paper so many months later, or a year later, I don't know, and looking at it and thinking, oh my God, everything is there that I asked for, absolutely everything. And the only thing I didn't ask for, I didn't put down about age. And he's a little bit younger than me, not much really, but about 3 years. But at the time I was a bit concerned about it because I'd always had older boyfriends and so on. So that was interesting. It sort of told me that, you know, you only get what you ask for. So if something like height is important to you, if you want to be smaller and your partner to be taller, you must write that down.
Yes, and all other things are important, not just height.
Yes.
So size doesn't matter.
Like, are you talking bank balance?
I'm sorry, I can't stop this dog from barking. Tinkerbell, come here. So she's having, she wants to be on the show, obviously. Tink, come and say hi.
Her name's Tinkerbell and we're talking about spells.
There you go.
Sam, that's not cheesy at all, Sam. That is just magnificent.
So I'd like a love spell as well, please, Sam.
Where do we go? Where do people go to find your spells online? Where is it?
Oh, well, I've got a website called it's thesamanthagiles.co.uk. And everything's on there. There's a bit about my writing, my acting, and then the online shop where you can have a little browse, and all the spells include delivery to UK addresses only. So if you live outside the UK or Southern Ireland, I'm quite happy to post, but you need to just drop me a line so I can give you a quote.
Wonderful. I'm on there straight away after.
Thank you, Sam, so much.
I'm there faster.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you all.
Lovely to see you too. Take care, darling, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, darling. Lots of love.
Bye.
Bye.